Hey, what's up, everyone? Haven't been on here in a long while. It's almost a month. This Thursday it'll be a month. But I wanted to come in and, hey, welcome, Ida May. Thanks for joining. I just wanted to come in and give some encouragement. The Lord has truly been blessing me in the sense of I have a new daughter now. Hey, welcome, everyone that's coming in. I have a new daughter now, and it's been a real blessing, just showing me great things. And I just know that right now this is something that'll be good for a lot of people. Welcome, Crystal. I forgot to put in the title, From Glory to Glory. That's the main thing that I wanted to talk about as well, because what God has for you is for you. Blessings to you, sister. Blessings to you. What God has for you is for you, and nothing shall by any means harm you or take that from you. When he said that he's got us in the palm of his hands and that nothing can snatch us out of that. Just like that, scripture states that everything that he's predestined for you to receive, you shall receive it. As long as you just keep on believing. It says we'll reap if we faint not, right? So just keep on digging in, pressing in. And the scriptures that he was giving me was Gideon and David. How Gideon, when he was, the Israel had sinned against God, of course, and they fell into the hands of their enemies. So much so that they had to run and hide in caves, right? So Gideon was hiding in a cave, and he was threshing out his wheat and trying to, he was doing it in a wine press. And if you research that, you'll see how hard that is to do and how difficult that is. But that was the only way that he could reap his harvest without the enemy coming in and snatching it from him, right? So this brother is in a cave, and he's not in the best of situations, but God still reached him with his destiny and his call that he had on his life, with what he said was for him to be a mighty man of valor. What he had for him, nothing could take that from him, regardless of where he was or what it looked like or what the enemy was trying to do. The angel reached him. That's in Judges 6:12, where it states that, let me go ahead and get on that. It says, "And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, The Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor." And in verse 13 it says, "And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, Did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord hath forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites." Now, Gideon is just talking about, where he's at, and the angel of the Lord has appeared to him. He's talking about where he's at, though. And that's what I'm pretty much here to state, that it doesn't matter where you're at. If the angel of the Lord appeared to me, I don't know if I would be in that state of mind. I would probably be in awe before I would say, hey, I would hope that I wouldn't be that way, that I wouldn't be that downtrodden, believing that nothing could save me. Because that's what Gideon was pretty much feeling like. In order for him to question the angel of the Lord, he had to be questioning, whether God was really for him. He had to be in a pretty rough situation. And this is for anyone in that type of situation, I would say, that what he has for you, nothing can take it from you. No circumstances, like he said, to know the breadth, the length, the depth of his love. His love that he has for us, nothing can stop us from reaching our predestined destination, our predestined job that he has for us, our our destiny that He has for us. So, and then in the first time that David was anointed would be in 1 Samuel 16, chapter 16. But before I go to that, I want to go to 1 Samuel 15:32. It talks about how Saul had fell off. Basically, he had been anointed king, and he wouldn't, you know, it's amazing how favor comes to people, in the oddest situations. Now, what we do with that favor is all up to us. We are given plenty of opportunities to fulfill what God has called us to do and the predestined plan, but we can't get out of line with that. We can't get out of order with that, and cause ourselves to fall out of favor. Because favor had fallen on Saul, even though he wasn't even in the lineage of it. Because the people wanted it, people were crying out for it, the Lord gave it to him, and favor fell on this man. Now, he fell out of favor with God because he wasn't obedient like he was supposed to be. And it was several times where he was obedient and was disobedient. And this was, like, as they say, the straw that broke the camel's back. So this right here is when he was, it's 15:32 of 1 Samuel. It's right here. All right, so 15:32 says, I'm going to start with 30 actually. Then Saul pleaded again. This is after he had fell out. I'm going to start with 27. As Samuel turned to go, Saul grabbed at him. Well, let me see. Oh, I'm going to say, okay, 23. And this is Samuel talking to him. He said, but Samuel replied, what is more pleasing to the Lord, your burnt offerings and sacrifices, or your obedience to His voice? So this is another thing too. I would say that being in obedience. We were just talking about this in service the other day. How it's better to be obedient than to do sacrifices. And being obedient definitely gets you in line with that. So in 32 it says, then Samuel said, bring King Agag to me. Agag arrived full of smiles, for he thought, surely the worst is over, and that he's been spared. And I'm reading in the New Living Translation. And so he was thinking that he was being spared and that everything was fine, that nothing was going to happen to him. I'm reading King James Version 33. And Samuel said, as thy sword hath made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. Now, the only reason I'm mentioning this is because that was, okay, so Saul, this is leading up to David being anointed, right? So it was 2 kings that had to be removed. Now, we can look at that prophetically and see exactly what that you can address it to you can apply it to your life prophetically, how it reaches you. Let God minister to you what that's saying. What does King Agag represent in your life, in your situation right now? The one that's making you, like, he was making women childless, as it says right here in verse 30. God bless you for joining. He was making women barren, as it says in verse. God bless you. It says that Samuel said, and Samuel said in verse 33, as thy sword hath made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. So, what is it? I'm speaking of how, leading up to David's anointing, how 2 kings had to be removed out of the way. You can apply that to your life. What does King Agag represent to you? And here it clearly says that he was making women childless. So that's like making them not fruitful. You know what I mean? Like whatever they had, he was taking from them and killing their fruit, because the fruit of their womb, it says that children are a blessing. So he was trying to take their blessing, what God had blessed them, when he was taking that away. So what does that mean to you? Apply it in your life. What does Agag represent in your life? That's being removed right now. That's what the Lord is saying. That's being removed out of your life. And then Saul, the disobedient one, the one that didn't take care of this king like he was supposed to. Like there was a Saul. It's a Saul in someone's life right now that's not removing that king. He's trying to get, get and gain from that. He's trying to increase from that. Instead of removing it, he's trying to increase. He's trying to gather strength from your mishaps. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty wild. It's just like coming right now. He's trying to gain from your mishaps of this king coming in, taken from you. You know what I'm saying? So that's about to be like removed out of your life. That's about to be taken right now. And it's two kings that's being removed. That disobedient one and that one that's been robbing from you. It's one that's been teaming up with the robber. And it's one that's his whole thing. He's just a robber, So, like I said, I believe this is the praise generation, the Judah generation right now. The praisers and the worshipers are rising up right now. The David generation, that's what I believe. That worshipers, those that worship in spirit and truth, that are submitted wholly to the Lord, that are saying, I give my whole heart, I will give you everything that I have. Right now, I believe that's rising up. And while we're rising up, those that, like he said, he goes before us and makes every crooked way straight. I believe that's what he's doing right now. And this is what he's saying right now. What he has for you is for you. No one can take that from him. Now, as I said, just want to reiterate that again and again, that Saul has been removed and that Agag is being removed. And those are two kings. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Just watch the replay. Those two kings are being removed out of your life. Those two kings are being removed out of your life. So just know that Saul and that Agag, the disobedient one, and that one that's been trying to rob you of everything. So and before I touched on Gideon, and man, that's just all that, how all that ties together is just amazing to me. Gideon was in the cave and hiding out, and trust and believe that many people were probably hiding out from this King Agag as well. He was robbing and stealing. Same thing that was happening to the children of Israel at that time with Gideon. So it's perfect. It's awesome. Thank you, Lord. This is all the scriptures that he gave me. And then let me get back to, all right. So that's in 1532. And then in 16, David is anointed. Now, David went through a lot before he actually became king. I'm sure that everyone is familiar with the story, that everything that David went through. And I'm going to read bits and pieces. If this is in 1 Samuel 16, I was reading from 1 Samuel 15, and that was starting at like, I'll say 31 through 32, 33. So I'm going to 16 now, and this is where David is anointed as king. And as I said, David went through quite a bit before he was actually king, So I just want to read a little bit about some things that he went through. And he was out just, doing the work that the Lord had told him to do, which was watching over the sheep, being the shepherd in the pasture, being faithful in the little things, right? So his brothers were, doing other things with going to war or whatever. But he was like, all he could do is be the shepherd. He had to watch after the sheep, make sure that they didn't get ate up or whatever, right? So So Samuel came after Saul died, right? Samuel came looking for him. So Samuel is like mourning for Saul, and as it says in the King James version, it says, "And the Lord said unto Samuel, How long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thine horn with oil, and go. I will send thee to Jesse, to the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons." So he's telling them, Saul is done. Just let it go. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a lot of times that when judgment does come, it comes to people close to us, people that we really thought were for us, that are robbing us, and we don't know it. We're just loving them with the love of Christ, because like it says, the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts. And if we're really submitted to the Lord, we're able to let those things go and see that, hey, this is just a part of enduring the hardship as a good soldier. So we don't hold aught or whatever. And then when the judgment comes, we're just like, whoa, I wanted them to be saved. I don't want them to get judged like that. But, it's up to them to submit to the Lord. So Samuel, this is what it was with Samuel and Saul. He's mourning because he's like, man, I wanted this brother to get it. I wanted this brother to get it together. But the brother just didn't get it together. So, and, that was his lot. He had to be removed. So Saul is dead, and Samuel was mourning, and the Lord told him, get up and go find another king. That's what you need to be doing. You need to worry about the future, not the past, right? So he's telling him to come on, get it. And this is what I love. This is the part I love. In verse 4 is when he gets to the town. And this is 1 Samuel 16, verse 4. And Samuel did that which the Lord spake, and came to Bethlehem. And the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, Comest thou peaceably? I think that's funny, because the prophet was coming to town. There was a little bit, edgy on, like, is he coming to bring judgment, or is he coming to bring the good word of the Lord, right? So, unless he was a true prophet, what he was saying was happening. As it said, that none of his words actually fell to the ground. Hey, welcome, Crystal Dawn. Welcome back. And so he told him that he was coming peaceably. In verse 5, it says, And he said, Peaceably I come to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sanctified Jesse and his sons and called them to the sacrifice. So this is really awesome too, because they were even sanctified, and they got themselves ready. But as the Lord was giving me today, that what is for you is for you. These are people that are sanctified, holy, you know what I'm saying, been set apart. They did what they were supposed to do, but God said it's for you, So God said it's for me, you know what I'm saying? What God said is for us, even if they're sanctified and set apart, you know what I'm saying? Even if they do the sacrifice or whatever. What God said was for you. No one can step in and take that. So that's just amazing to me. But anyways, point being, so they did that, and in verse 6 it said, And it came to pass when they were come that he looked on Eliab and said, Surely the Lord's anointed is before thee. So in verse 7 it says, But the Lord said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance or the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. I'm going to read that in the New Living Translation. And when they arrived, this is verse 6, when they arrived, Samuel took one look at Eliab and thought, Surely this is the Lord's anointed. The Lord said to Samuel, Don't judge by his appearance or height, for I have rejected him. The Lord doesn't make decisions the way you do. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at a person's thoughts and intentions. So that's just great. So he's looking at your real true heart. He's looking at your what your spirit man is like, and who he said that you are, and what he said that he has for you, and what he says that he's going to place in you, and where he's going to place you, I should be saying, where he said he's going to place you. And he says, no, this dude, I don't believe this dude is the right dude. I believe someone else is the right dude to be in this spot. And this is all the process of David not even knowing that this is going on. He's out there, working with the sheep. He don't even know that this is going on. All he's doing is being obedient. And that's, where we're talking about Saul was being disobedient by not following the word of the Lord. You know, the word of the Lord came to Samuel and told Saul to kill. He needed to take out Agag, but Saul was like trying to hang on to him. Anybody who's joining in and missed the other part, just watch the replay. Hopefully it will let you watch it. But yeah, so Saul was just not doing it. Hopefully this, okay. I hope this is going through. I'm gonna put it up on YouTube and save it. And friend me on Facebook. The baby is good. The baby is good. Friend me on Facebook if you can. It's Aaron Elias. Just look me up. It's a picture of my baby, actually, my little girl on there. So when you look it up, you'll see my little girl. I'll post it on Facebook, or I'll put it in your message or whatever. But anyhow, okay. Anyways, I'm gonna keep on going with this. This is what the old King Saul was having problems with, being obedient. But David is being obedient. He's just being obedient to what the Lord asked him to do, and he did it, not knowing that, you know, the Lord is looking for him to anoint him. The Lord has the man of God looking for him to anoint him, right? So Eliab came, and it wasn't Eliab. I'm gonna just stay in the New Living Translation because it's a little more understandable for most that'll join in. Okay, verse 8. It says, "Then Jesse told his sons Abinadab to step forward and to walk in front of Samuel. But Samuel said, 'This is not the one the Lord has chosen.'" So the Lord just letting them know right away, this is not him. Each time a person comes up, the Lord's like, "Nope, that's not who I have it for. That's not who I've picked. That's not who I've appointed. That's not whom I've chosen. That's not the person whom I've chosen." So let's get on down to it. And it said, and so he summoned Shammah, and he wasn't the one. He wasn't the chosen one. And Jesse, in the same way, all 7 of Jesse's sons were presented to Samuel. But Samuel said to Jesse, "The Lord has not chosen any of these." The Lord didn't choose any of them. So the Lord wasn't choosing any of those guys. They weren't the one. And then let's see. And then Samuel asked, "Are these all the sons you have?" And then he said, and then this is what Jesse said. He said, "There is still the youngest," Jesse replied, "but he is out in the fields watching the sheep. Send for him at once," Samuel said. "We will not sit down to eat until he arrives." Excuse me. So there's even a feast being prepared. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about. You know what I mean? That's awesome. That's just good stuff. That's good stuff. Hopefully this doesn't chop all up and be all crazy or what have you. Hopefully it does what it's supposed to do, and I'm gonna save it and on my YouTube. But this is good. Cool. You found me. Good. I see you found me. I see your request. So yeah. You did. You found me. I saw it pop up saying that you friended me. So yeah, and hopefully it's not all chopped up, and it'll be understandable. It won't be glitching and stuff, because I'm gonna save it immediately on YouTube. But anyways, so there's even a feast, because the man of God told Jesse, "Is there any more sons that you have?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got one. He's just the young little, he's just a little whippersnapper, like they say, back in the day, a little young whippersnapper out there, running in the fields, taking care of sheep." And he was like, "Yeah, all right, go get him. We ain't gonna eat